This is Kate Kruger, and I'm here with Mitchell Fox, the owner of Fox Cigar Bar in Gilbert, Arizona. For those of you who know me, you know I love a good cigar and I love a great drink. And Mitchell was kind enough to do an interview with us before we hit the road so that we can do more interviews to add to our new page. I'm thrilled to have Mitchell here.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that he's accepted my offer of an invitation here. What I want to ask you is life before this.
So this has been here now 10 years. Before this, I had a chain of liquor stores. And the liquor stores I realized, was cigarette stores as well. I realized they needed to diversify in some way. I always had a fun passion for cigars. So naturally it made sense with the customers that were already coming in there buying bottles of scotch and whiskey to go ahead and add cigars. So I started with walking humidors at the liquor stores, and that's how I got started with cigars. When I decided to diversify out of liquor stores, it was cigar bars. And my relationship with Rocky Patel, that we're now rebranding with, came from the liquor store side. I became friends with him when he got into the business, same time I did, 22 or 23 years ago. So our kind of history together goes pretty far back.
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand, absolutely. So it made sense here to have Fox Cigar Bar featuring exclusive Rocky Patel lounges in Arizona.
But it took you a while to get to that.
It did. I've always had good relationships with most of the cigar companies out there, and there's been lots of great partners for me over the years to kind of pair with. Rocky was just something, I think all paths were kind of leading down this way. In the past, it just didn't work out timing-wise. Now it just seemed to make sense.
But in the beginning, didn't you have a little difficulty getting cigar companies to take you seriously?
Absolutely. Being from the liquor store background in cigarettes, in the past that was looked at a little as tabooish to kind of mix them together. To me, I thought it just made sense. I mean, it's, we enjoy our little vices, if you want to call it that.
Absolutely.
We love our cigars, and what do cigars go best with? It's with liquor and great beers. And I was already selling that, so to me, it just kind of made sense to implement the two.
It also goes well with great companionship.
Absolutely. So we're experience oriented. That's my whole philosophy with running my bars/lounges. I'm about providing an experience. I don't want you to feel like you're coming in here to get hustled or upsold. It's none of that. It's coming in, enjoying the moment, and sitting with friends. That's what cigars and great spirits are all about. It's about the moment. It's about the experience. And I learned that's kind of when I got into this side of the business. I had taken a little break and I was traveling for a while. I went to Cuba, I went to the Dominican Republic, I went to Nicaragua, and it was more just kind of on the vacation side, but one of the common things I noticed in those places is it's more experience oriented. Everywhere you went, they weren't trying to hustle you. Our way in the States is it's always kind of a hustle to buy the most expensive thing. There it was about sit down, relax, enjoy the moment, enjoy the cigar, and enjoy it with the people that you're with.
Right.
So that's what I wanted. I said when I left those places, I said, really, we need to have a place like that was here in the States, that we could actually enjoy that wasn't a hustle. I was fortunate enough to be in a good situation after selling my liquor stores, where I had a little bit of ability to say, you know what, I don't need to turn the biggest profit in the world, I just want to run a great business and have a place that I would enjoy myself. That's usually not the way you're supposed to run a business. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that and kind of build my little dream store, my little candy store.
Well, and we're going to take a look at the humidor in a little while.
Absolutely.
I think the thing that you've done is you've made a great offering for your customers.
Yep.
You've made a great environment for people to sit and just hang out. And I know that Jimmy and I come in here and we've met some amazing folks.
Yes.
Mostly people we've never met before. And the reason is we sit across from each other and you just hang out, and it reminds me, and I think I said this to you, of the old Boston pubs. You could hang out in a Boston pub, it didn't matter who you were sitting next to. You could always have a great conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. People, I have a funny little saying when I explain to my employees, people behave in the environment they're surrounded by. If you give them a great, comfortable spot that feels like your living room at your house or your little bar you may have at your house, your little man cave or whatever you want to call it, people behave in a great way. And when they come into my place, I want them to feel comfortable. There's never any fights. There's never any bickering. Everybody tends to become friends, and that's part of the experience. So enjoy the moment with the cigars.
It really is.
Scotch, yeah.
We've gone to cigar places all
Yeah.
across the country. We had a
Yep.
great time.
Yep.
We've met some amazing people. The thing about it is, there's very seldom any politics ever talk.
Right.
It's always a pleasure conversation. You get to meet people on a level playing field, and it's more civilized.
Absolutely.
It's much more civilized
Yes.
than just the bar.
Yes. I have rules on that. If anybody gets out of hand talking politics, they're 86th.
There you go.
If you want to do it in a fun way and have a fun, little debate about something, no problem. The second something gets heated, we don't need it. So,
Exactly. So, the Rocky story
Yes.
is that he was the only one that came in here to do, or not in here, but actually
at my
in one
liquor
of
stores,
at
he
your
was the
liquor
only one at
stores.
the time that would open me up and sell. I'll sell you premium cigars. And he was in the same boat at the time, trying to build his company, traveling all over the country, all over the world, trying to sell his cigars and explain to everybody, his story. And when he walked in my place, he saw a young, ambitious person that enjoyed and got the experience and appreciated great fine tobaccos. And I said to myself, this is a guy that has the same passion I do. He's on the manufacturing side. I want to carry his product. I asked him, and he said, absolutely. So he said, let's go with it. He said, you support me, I'll support you. And ever since then, 22, 23 years ago,
He even
it's
did
been-
events, didn't he? in your-
Absolutely. He was one of the few people that would show up for an event at a liquor store. I had no place to sit. There was no formal lounge, not like we have today. It was very simple, and he didn't care. He was one of the only guys that would give me that shot. So here we are today, full circle. Now he gets to be in what I hope is the premier cigar lounges in all of the country.
I'm telling you, this is wonderful here in Arizona, and we match any visits we make everywhere else
Compare
to
it.
here. We always compare to here.
Thank you so much.
The thing is, I'd like you to explain the events, what an event is, because a lot of people don't understand
They
what
don't.
an event is.
And a lot of people run an event, and people have unfortunately gotten used to the idea that an event is just about hustling through a bunch of cigars.
No,
So once again, it goes back to me being interactive and making it an experience. When I do an event, I want to bring the principal of that company, the person that makes that product and is behind, that can tell the story. So when my customers come in, they can sit there and have one-on-one time with that person and get the whole story of from seed to finished box product.
Exactly.
What you're smoking, what you're trying. You run them through all the different things. Let them light up a cigar and smoke it for a little while. Don't just sit there and try and sell them 2 boxes of cigars. And that's what my events have become known for.
They're an education.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
where I learn.
And we'll
Every
do
time
we'll
there's
do
an event.
speeches in the lounge. That's why I just remodeled the lounge. So we have room now to accommodate these guys like Rocky that come in and want to talk about their cigar and explain it to customers.
Right,
So
right.
this weekend's the perfect example. We have Rocky Nation and the 3 principals of his company coming in, and they're all going to be walking around talking to everybody. You don't have to pay for that. It's free. Just come on in and enjoy it, participate, talk, get interactive, they'll be sitting there drinking and smoking just like we are, just enjoying the time. So it's a wonderful experience.
It's an excellent
Yes.
experience. I know whenever we
Once
get
again,
our email,
experience, yes.
every time we get our email, we make
Yes.
sure that we're here for the event nights
Absolutely.
because it's always part of the education for us.
Absolutely, yes.
Now we're going to cut this interview here, but we're going to pick it up again in a few minutes, and we're going to sit in the humidor so you can see the cigars.
Give you a little rundown of everything.
And we're going to go through about the cigars.
Yep.
What's the differences between them? How can you tell flavor?
Yep.
And why
Give
why
you a
some
basic cigar
why
101.
some have different flavors than others, and where the leaves are from.
Yep.
And the leaf is the most important piece.
Leaf
of
has the
cigar.
most flavor. Yeah, it's usually people say anywhere 50 to 90% of the flavor on a cigar is actually in the leaf.
Unless you smoke a Lancero, then you get a great amount of flavor.
True. Traditional Cuban sizes like that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
I fell in love with them in the South.
You either love them or hate them.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
newer sizes have kind of become very popular these days.
Right,
And there's
right.
no right or wrong. It's just different. It's whatever our preference is.
Well, we'll talk more about this.
Perfect.
We're going to cut now, but we'll be right back in a few minutes with more from Mitchell Fox in the humidor. This is Kate Kruger, and I'm back here again with Mitchell Fox from Fox Cigar Bar in Gilbert, Arizona. Now, this time, this part of the interview is going to be about cigars.
Yep.
So we want to talk a little bit about the difference between milds and Maduros and Robustos and the different sizes and what does it all mean?
Okay.
So,
So
where does a newbie start?
Okay, so here's the general thing. Some people come in, and I think that's one of the intimidating things with cigars, or scotches. When people don't know, they don't tend to ask the questions they should. And in general, this is a pretty simple process, and I think people overcomplicate it. So there's four basic things with cigars. There's mild cigars, there's medium cigars, there's full-bodied cigars, and then there's a category that's more of a flavored style cigar. The flavor kind of masks the true traditional taste of a cigar, but some people prefer to start that way. You know, if you like vanilla, maybe it's easier to kind of be like, okay, I'm going to try vanilla. Everyone has a preference.
Excuse me while I cringe.
Yeah, I know it's sacrilegious to a true cigar smoker, but that is what's out there.
Just so everybody realizes, we are in a working humidor right now,
Yes.
so folks will come and go.
Customers are coming in
They
and out.
do come in and out, so
yeah,
bear
I'd
with
apologize
us.
for that, but I can't apologize for
No,
that.
you
so
can't
gotta
apologize
keep
for
the doors
making
open.
money.
Exactly,
Oh my goodness,
exactly.
no.
But anyway, I was saying that in regard to cigars, there's no right or wrong answer.
Go ahead,
for-
bye. Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer for a cigar. Cigars, as long as you're enjoying it, then that's the right answer for you. So mild, medium, full body, that's the general thing. Usually mild cigars, people associate that. The wrapper has most of the taste on a cigar. So the lighter the wrapper, traditionally the milder the cigar. Not always the case, but generally speaking, that's a good way to kind of judge.
Right.
Any good store or lounge will have somebody in the humidor that can usually give you some advice on that. That's the best way to go. Ask questions, try different stuff. Don't always smoke the same cigar.
Right.
I know most of us are creatures of habit. We find something we like, but there's a reason they make so many different ones. There's a lot of tremendous cigars out there.
Well, we talked earlier about how this is a group thing where everybody can
Absolutely.
hang out. And I can't tell you how many times I've tried a different cigar because someone said, "Oh, you
Recommends
smoke
it.
that?
That's
Try
the fun
this
of
one."
this. It's a fun
Right.
thing to have a little
Exactly.
debate or discussion. It's like
Right.
liking your favorite team. You know, you
Exactly.
may like the Patriots, I may like the 49ers. It just kind of depends. There's no right or wrong answer. There's just preference.
Well, unless you live in Boston.
Then maybe there's a right or wrong answer. I understand. So no, with cigars, everything's just about, once again, the experience and comparing and contrasting. And there's different times when you're in the mood for a different cigar. Morning,
Exactly.
traditionally, people like a mild cigar. You know,
With a cup of
afternoon,
coffee.
absolutely.
All right,
Afternoon or
exactly.
evening after a full steak, you may want a strong Maduro. Maduro means dark and rich and flavorful. You may want more of that after a heavy meal. It's like having a red glass of wine with the right meal versus a white glass of wine.
Right. And sometimes there's just no wrong time to have
There
a
is
cigar.
no wrong time.
Right.
For me,
Exactly.
I happen to have a preference. I prefer the strongest cigar of the day, first thing in the morning. A lot of people think I'm nuts.
It's like a black cup
but
of
that's
coffee.
absolutely it's what I like.
Yeah,
So it's what I
exactly.
like. Yes.
Now, there's also different sizes in cigars. You have Coronas. You have the
Toros, Robustos, Churchills,
Right.
Lanceros,
Right.
tons of different sizes on
Panatellas.
Panatellas,
Yeah.
lots of different sizes on cigars. Once again, no right or no wrong answer. Different times of the day, different cigar.
But also different types of flavor. Like I know the Lancero gets most of its flavor, or much of its flavor, from the outer leaf, whereas the other larger cigars tend to have more filler.
Correct, yeah. So since most of the flavor comes from the wrapper, a lot of people believe that if you're smoking a Lancero, a thinner cigar, and there's less binder and less filler, you're getting more of the flavor from a wrapper. I believe, honestly, and I think a lot of the newer age smokers believe that as long as it's blended properly and it's balanced, that you actually can get a great, perfect smoke out of a more traditional Toro or Robusto. But once again, it's all preference. The traditional sizes in Cuba were Lanceros and Petite Coronas. And generally speaking, we went through times in this country where people smoked the smaller cigars.
Right,
Kennedy was always known to smoke Coronas. He made that size favorite, H. Upmans and
Right.
things
Right.
of that sort. That was his favorite cigar.
I was
Just
reading about
yeah,
that just
a smaller
recently,
cigar. That was the popular thing back then. Now it's more Toro sizes. But it depends on how much time you have to smoke a cigar. When you come in here, the nice thing is usually you have 2 or 3 hours you can smoke a cigar. A Toro or a Churchill, perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the long smokers.
Yes.
I like something that's, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour.
I get it.
And you can pick your size cigar based off your time schedule.
And you should.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah, that's part of the experience. Once
That's
again,
exactly right.
pairing it properly. And that comes with experience of doing it a few times. The first time you come in and get a cigar, my rule is always, I always tell my customers when I sell them some, if you don't like it, don't be scared to put it down and come get a new cigar.
Right.
You don't want to smoke something, you don't want to see somebody not enjoying the moment and the experience. The moments are too precious to let them slide by smoking something you really don't like.
And you really want to smoke the whole cigar because the whole experience is the changing of the
It does,
flavor
yes,
along the way.
absolutely. When you first light up a cigar, as you pull the smoke through the cigar, it changes because it heats up and the smoke gets pulled through. It changes the dynamic and the taste of the cigar, how it burns, and it'll get hotter as you smoke it down. Well, great cigars will actually stay pretty cool towards the end. But yes, the flavor absolutely changes as you get into a cigar.
Exactly.
So you don't truly taste anything really on a cigar when you first light it up. A lot of people, one of the things they do is, oh, it tastes good right away. Well, you're only tasting usually the burn when you first taste it. So let the cigar burn in a little bit. Let it get half an inch to an inch in. Then you're starting to get the true taste of a cigar because you pulled some smoke through the cigar.
Now, people confuse flavored cigars with flavors. And there's a difference because I have trouble determining flavors of some cigars. I can tell the peppers.
Right.
Sometimes I can tell the creaminess.
You'll hear a million.
I occasionally will taste a little bit of chocolate in some of
Yes,
them.
yes.
But other than that, I have
It gets
great
a little
difficulty.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy. So I've been smoking cigars and enjoying them for 20 years now, and I still cannot walk around and light something up and say it's a hint of nutmeg and spices on the back end with floral fruits. To me, that's kind of it's not my thing. I don't get it. I can't taste things that well. I know what I like and what I don't like.
Then good. I don't feel bad then because
No,
I can't taste it
You're
either.
not the only one. I think a lot of people exaggerate their ability to taste something that well.
Boy, I feel like
It's like coffee. Is it good or is it not good? You know,
Right,
it's
exactly.
pretty simple stuff.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
why overcomplicate it?
Exactly. So the sizes make a difference. The wrappers make a difference. The prices vary from anything from $2 cigars
Absolutely, and people
and on
associate
up.
higher prices with better cigars. Not necessarily true. You know, so if you're spending more money on a cigar traditionally, if you're doing it for the right reasons, it means the cigar's probably taken a little longer to make, or it's from a rare tobacco grown in a field that just gets the right amount of attention and it's perfect. Usually age will dictate price of a cigar. That's one of the factors in it. But it's not always the case. You can get a great cigar for a little amount of money. It's just a matter of trying different stuff.
Right, right.
Thank
Very
you.
cool. Well, I want to thank you because we're going to finish some interviews tomorrow,
Yes.
hopefully.
We'll get to meet Rocky tomorrow.
Oh, that'll
and
be
the guys
awesome.
and get a little talk with them.
You know what
and kinda
amazes
catch
me
you up on
is you
stuff.
guys have like both been in business just 20 years.
Yes.
That's not a long time.
No, it's not a long time, and you know, he's had tremendous success.
So have you.
I've been very fortunate. I have. His success is on a whole other level with being able to grow a manufacturing company and being in Honduras, and now he's in Nicaragua. We can get him to talk a little bit about that
Oh,
tomorrow.
that's going to be great.
Yeah, building a new factory down there, and it's super exciting.
Well, I'm excited to do an interview with him because I've read about him now. And I know his background, and it just cracked me up where he came from.
We'll have some fun tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks again. We're going to do some more interviews tomorrow, and we'll show you the big grand reveal tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.